Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. In this series of tutorials, we'll look on some photo enhancements, and due to my experience, I do a lot of concept photography. So we'll look on some of those extreme situations in photography and how we can enhance some of the images. As example, this concept was from Mumford & Sons, and as example, when it's beginning, you can see it was unbelievably dark and very narrow light. And problem with most lighting, modern lighting, they all start switching to the LED lights. And LED lights, when you're on a concert, provides very nice saturated color, but because it's a very narrow spectrum, it's almost cut off all other lights and creating this overexposure and other effect. Of course, if you kind of start working, looking on the settings, you can work after. What I like to do, and for example right here it was shot in RAW, and this is the way it's allowed me to go after and kind of adjusting a little bit, modifying effect. So we're going to select maybe some images, and some right here for example was working, and see how we can bring those details by camera, and after maybe going in Photoshop. And of course some lighting still be kind of okay, but again right here you can see how much extreme lighting was coloring, very saturated in specific single spectrum. If you have some single lights, maybe okay, but again this is very kind of, I consider one of the extreme conditions to when you photo shoot, because very dark, speed, motion blur, and other things. So let's go ahead and we'll start working maybe with some image right here. We can take it one, and just like this. This is dark, high contrast, so we can go open this one. What I'm going to do is first click and we'll go open inside Adobe Camera Raw. As usual, I set my highlights so I can see with overblowing. And they have its different techniques. Some people like to use it sharpness on a beginning or on the end. You can see like pixelizations right here going a lot. What I like to do first when I start, it's going inside and enable lens profile correction. I don't do this all the time, but on this case, when I was using Canon 7200 2.8L Mark II lens with the camera, so it's kind of nice correcting, and it's helped a little bit with the coloring and with vignetting, a little bit removing. Okay, so next what are we going to do, and I'm first going to fix highlights, so I'm taking and bring them slightly down a little bit to fix this area. Highlights will pop up also if we increase brightness, you can vibrance, you can see the highlights start going. So in this case maybe just a little bit down, we'll give it a little bit natural, and let's work a little bit with temperature. Again, this is more an artistic way, it's you like it. Personally, I do not like create black and white photos. They're nice, they work very well, but it's for reason, you know, we was born with a color vision. So and I want to take best from the colors, bring additional details and theme. And again, when the artists perform concert, they also make this to the mood. Also, other things I found out it's worked for me very well. I actually listen the music of the band while I'm working on a photo, so it's give me this extra, the spirit what they was playing with. Again, I won't choose this photo for the display, but again, as the example to work, this is can be a bit challenged, so that's the reason why we're using this one. Next, let's look on temperature, and I'll probably bring a little bit more towards cyan colors, a little bit warm up them. Even blue is very cold, and a cyan will creating a bit nicer. Was shadows, normally we can pop up, but problem is when we start going in shadows, right here you can see we start having grain start kind of pop up. So we want to maybe bring a little bit on the shadows, but not that much, so we still have it a little bit nicer. Okay, still right here a bit overblown, some small portions, but I think that will work well. Next what I'm going to do, it is look on some levels, and right now we'll just try to bring dimensions. And what I like to do with the curves, it is give this extra kind of effect, like almost, not necessarily flatten up, but just give it a little bit more. Okay, right here, let's take highlights a little bit down, so we kind of reducing. But again, problem is if you take too much down right here, we have a very flat cheek, so I want, that's why I'm compensating with the lights and reducing highlights, so it's still kind of give us a curve, but reducing a little bit, overblowing. Okay, next, other things what I like to do, it is also work with the luminance on the colors. This is help us just go in specific light, and you can see we can modify quite a bit on this. So I'm looking on details, for example, right here on his face. And again, if we bring it down just slightly, so it will give us a little bit more texture on his face. The other things when I work, I was kind of look on this right here, skin. So we can make very unpleasant for some people, and I can show you some other ones I was working with look quite a bit not pleasant. For example, the open mouth, you can see teeth, and you can see not very nice stuff. So you're kind of fixing, and right here skin, I probably will fix this little bit skin at this point, so it doesn't take attention away from expression on his face. Okay, so let's go look next. Then because the curve, how color it's one toned, the mostly it's won't be affecting if we do any other ones. Filters. So they're quite a bit, but we do have a little bit more magenta color right here adding. And I notice it will affect our fog. So that's again, this is will bring extra depth. So I maybe want to actually bring this a little bit higher. Down. Green a little bit down. Okay, let's look also on saturations. So this is will go all the way to black and white, and this is actually nice to see which channel mostly we have it. Again, I say because it's LED lighting, it's have it a very narrow type of the frequency, so we have it only here. We could go and pop up a little bit other, just slightly see if this will bring, but again, because it's single color, does not give it anything to us. I'm going to set this to 0. Okay, and next things, what I'm going to do, sharpness. Sometimes I do sharpness as a first, and this has helped me with some adjustments, so I can see if it's grain will pop up. But in case we will do last, so I'm going all the way, and you can see we start having. Next, we'll a little bit reduce on details, and we have quite a bit grain. So what we're going to do is work with a little bit masking, just slightly pop up, and reduce on the luminosity. And this is kind of nicer because we have a very limited color, so we can use more luminosity on these ones to remove some of that grains. Okay, so let's move a little bit around, and that's what I kind of readjusting, see extremes from one to another extreme, and find the best for this. Okay, you'll notice our sharpness also affect overblowing right here, so we can bring this up. And radius as usual I set to 1. Okay, next we'll go there. Okay, so right here we have a little bit overblowing, and so let me go bring the details just maybe around here. Take highlights down. This one a little bit down. Okay, so I think we already have kind of nice bringing in. Okay, when we're done, We can go and open as an object. So you just press down shift and click. So it will be open smart object. On this case, when if we want to modify, we can go back and work this way as well. Some stuff is distracting, so let's perform. I do the maybe cropping right here. I do like on top it's give it, but okay, so we'll adjust this case. Okay, right here we don't have some details. Okay, let's do a couple of things. One, it is I want to bring some more details maybe in these areas with a lot of colors, and to do this we want to overlay. So we'll go create new layer from this. Okay, and we'll go to actual modifying. So let's create new adjustment layer, and we'll just go black and white. Okay, right here what I'm looking at is on these details right around this area. Because it's black and white, but if we're going to, we have all this effect which is not necessarily want to bring. It's down maybe. Okay, so we have right here black and white adjustments, and we can kind of going over slightly, so it will start adding those details to us. Okay, maybe around like this. Okay, we still have it our lights, but you can see with this we brought just slightly more details right in these areas, so in the dark areas, right, for example. Okay, let's go next. What I like to do is increase sharpness, bring a little bit more into that. Okay, for that one we'll create a couple layers. So let's do first layer. Okay, we'll do one more, and on this point I actually want to rasterize both of them. Okay, select, group them together, inner sharp. So what do we do with this one? I want to create sharpness, but inside, not on the edges. This will bring us kind of details inside of the object sharpness. So we'll go select this overlay, okay, extend it. We'll have it first one, select as a vivid light, and now Control I to inverse. And next we're going filter, but before let me zoom in so we can see better. Like on his face, we go filter, blur, and we'll go to use it surface blur. So right here you can see how small effects start appearing. Right here, some of those details. So let's set threshold maybe to 6 and this to the 10. Okay, as example, right here, let's look on our hair. So if we have our threshold higher, we'll have it a little bit thicker. So I want maybe even go 5 for more fine ones. And again, if we have it reduced a little bit too high, okay, it will be a little bit more grungy overall or more defined. So I'll just probably go with 11 and 5. So right here, let's go to again, before, like in this area right here, you can see, and after. So kind of bring a little bit more details, and mostly it's not edge, it's outside. Okay, so let's go ahead. We have it this one. Next I want to create kind of more edge type sharpness to bring the character out. For this one I'm going to create one rasterized layer as well, and we're going to filter high pass, And for that one, actually, I want to have it maybe 1 pixel. So we have it, so it will be 1 pixel radius. Click OK, and we'll just go to overlay. This one actual sharpness is nice, and you can see right here on the edges, it's what add to us. It's add this extra sharpness, but not to all of them, mostly to the edges one. So combined with two of those sharpness, it will have a nice kind of, actually, you know what, I maybe even like when we come closer to him like this. So the rest is kind of more distracting. So let's say if we want to bring maybe like this, so this will have it a bit better now. Okay, we can also even cut a little bit more below, maybe even balancing, so we have a point of interests. Okay, right here, so we're done. This is with our sharpness, and this with applying kind of color correction and sharpness to this as well. Next, let me create one more layer. At this point, normally I save it with all mask if I need to come back, but also I want to do color correction for this. Sometimes you want to do a non-destructive or destructive color correction. Non-destructive, we'll just go on top and we'll just create color balance. So right here, and we can go, how to say, I like to maybe bring a little bit warmer so we can see if it's red color, which one will bring theme. And it's probably best if at this point I like if you start listening kind of music and see how they're going. As well, we can set a mask, but right here we'll have a little bit more flesh tone added. Okay, but again, if we get too much, we start losing this theme. So yeah, kind of a little bit reddish, maybe work a little bit better on this one. Problem is with too reddish, it's become too muddy look, a little bit kind of dirty look. So it's kind of a balance between these two. Okay, so we'll set this one, and this is a little bit color correction. Okay, the other things also what we can do, it is, let me rasterize this layer, and I'll show as example. We can use it different programs. What I like to do it is using filter forge. Let me launch this. Okay, so we have it, and I create a filter which is a plugin. It's right here, Phototon, and it's free, you can download it. Overall, what it is does it's have its sharpness and color correction, and I'm using this often to just very fast going color corrected images. For example, right here, the reason why I like in Filter Forge, because I can pre-create presets of my filters. And for example, right here, I create my filter. It's free to download. You can use it with the presets on different tone. It's give me a little bit faster to do. For example, in this case, you can see it's bring colors. If you're more interested in how a filter created, of course, you can go and check all process what I did it when I separate by channels and do other stuff. But anyway, when it's done, I'm going to, let's save this and just overlay. Okay, so you can see we'll go with process, and let's go just can go and overlay above this. The only problem is, if you notice, I open separately. When we do process, sometimes like right here, okay, oops, actually, we have a lot of these artifacts coming up, all this grayness, everything. So that's the reason why I want actual overlay. So we'll go and copy this one. We'll just go place it over here. Again, and let's compare. And I'm just going to blend, and normally just add slightly blending to this. See the point when okay. Right here, something we can rework a little bit by stamping, and maybe creating a little bit more clearer look. So we can kind of going, maybe creating something else, but overall we can mask this one. But for now, I think it'll still be okay. For the guys, it's not too bad to look ugly. Okay, anyway, so right here it's how I will modify the photo to bring, and it will look before and after. Okay, so we can go open, and right here you can see this was before. So we have the image, and right here we have our after image. And thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio, and please visit us for more tutorials at www.geekatplay.com.